I won an exchange in the opening, and I did my best to convert it. This is round 4 of the Baltimore Winter action, and I am playing the tournament director, which is usually a good sign. Because as a tournament director who has played in his own tournament, it's usually the best to get someone while they're playing in their own tournament. And Steven was just playing because there was an odd number of people. So it's better to have, a TD step in to play than to have someone have a bye each round. Like, that just sucks. So Steven was doing the tournament a favor by playing, but doing me a favor because now, his brain is not in it, at least for me. Like, I have a horrible record of losing in my own tournaments whenever I play my own tournament. So I'm playing Steven, really nice guy, really good tournament director, and I play e4. He plays a Sicilian, and we both bring our knights out, and he actually jumps his knight onto d4 and then takes on b5. I am always, always, always happy to see this because now I have a development lead. I have a lead in development, and I don't care if you have the bishop pair. I'm going to gain more space in the center, and I'm going to castle before you do, and I'm going to attack. He plays d6, and now I play bishop e3, preparing to castle along, and I'm not afraid if he takes the pawn on e5, which he does in the game. I give it a question mark because I know it's not good. I don't remember all the details on like how specifically it's winning, but I know that if black takes on e5, it's not good because now I can take the queen, castle with check, and even though it's a queenless middle game, I still have enough pieces to wreak havoc here. So here I play knight d5, eyeing b6, and if he plays knight f6 or something like that, well, I can do a couple things. Probably the easiest thing for me to do, I'll probably still play knight b6, and he cannot bring his rook to c8 without me winning the exchange. So if he goes rook here, then I can just bring my other knight to e5, and the pressure is too much. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I have 3 attackers, and you only have 1, 2 defenders. So I'm just straight up winning here. Nothing you can really do about it. End of story. So what he does in the game is play rook c8 now. So now he can meet knight b6 with rook c7, and now I don't have knight takes e5 because the bishop guards it. And even if he does play, you go here and here. Now the knight also guards the bishop on d7. So he has enough defenders now. But so he's rook c8 now. But now I thought for a while here because I was trying to figure out if I have anything better. I don't think I do, but I win an exchange by force. Because I play bishop b6, check. He goes king e8, and I go knight c7. So if he continues moving his king over, well, firstly, of course, if he goes here, then he just loses the bishop, and then loses this bishop, and this is just winning for me. I'm up a piece for a pawn, and I'm about to win back my pawns. And so, of course, if this did happen, if he didn't take my knights, then he would have to go here. But now I take his piece on d7, and life is very good, and I'm just going to be winning here very easily. Let's say I have to do something like knight d6. Part of me is tempted just to sacrifice the exchange back, but that's got to be absolutely horrible. King just goes to g8 and is living. But so he sacrifices the exchange to keep the piece, and now he plays e5, and now I play knight e5, and I still have a lot of pressure here, even though we just traded a piece. I still have a lot of pressure here. If he moves his bishop out of the way, then this is just checkmate. So he has to take, and now he no longer has the bishop pair, which is good. He plays f6. I play back to c7, making sure that the bishop is pinned after this knight moves. And the knight move, he does indeed do. So now I play rook d4. If he plays f5, I'm happy because now his knight can't go to that square. And of course, if he moves his bishop, then I win the rook in the corner. I probably here I could consider playing h3. And if like he moves his bishop to e6 or something like that, I can play g4, and if he plays f5, I'm probably happy here. I can probably just play g5 and try to keep pawns on the board like this. It's a little bit dicey because now he's getting his pawns rolling, but I think it should be okay. Oh wait, no, he can't get his pawns rolling. The pawn's hanging. So I think this is probably a better way for me to play. Instead, I kind of rush things. I play rook d4, attacking the pawn, and he plays knight f5, and everything will be fine here. So he's attacking my rook, attacking my pawn, and what I should do here, I play a mistake. I play rook d8 or rook d1 to play rook d8, check to win the rook in the corner. And my idea is it's just a trade. No, if you take, I take. I check and then take, and if you go here, I go here, and I'm happy. You can also throw in this move, and then I can go back here, and you take here, and I'm still happy. I think everything's fine still. However, much better than rook d1 would be rook g4. I gave that, so I put some annotations on this game because I was just going through it, and I wanted to just like share my thoughts a bit to myself before going through the game. I think this is a great move because now I defend my pawn, and if you go king f7 to guard g6, because if you go h5, then g6 would hang. So if you go f7, now I can go f3, and now if you go h5, now I maintain my exchange for, and he doesn't even have a pawn for it. And let's say he goes like rook c8, for example. I go bishop e6, and he can't get his rook into the open file. I'm going to slowly maneuver my rooks to the d file, and I'm going to win slowly. I don't have to worry about my pawns. Now I'm not down a pawn at all. So I think rook g4 was the best move, but now since I went rook d1 first after king f7, now I don't have rook g4 because of h5. And I thought about still doing this, forcing him to play h5, but I was like, what is the point of forcing him to play h5? I mean, my rook's here. That might not be a bad thing. I'm just not really sure if it improves my position at all. So I end up just, after king f7, just playing rook back to e1, rook e1, and then I play rook d8, forcing a trade of rooks, and I'm like, okay, I'm up in exchange, but he's got a pawn for it. However, I still have this 3-on-2 on the queen side. This 3-on-2 on the queen side is what's going to win me the game. What's also nice is that his knight's pinned, or his knight's stuck defending his pawn. So what I thought he probably should do at some point is play e5. I thought this was probably the way to go for him. And then maybe try to plant the knight on f3. So for example, if I get really lazy, I play c4. He plays knight here. I play b4. Then he's just going to go here to f3, and it's actually not super clear. If I go here, he can take, and like, yes, my rook gets in, but I guess here my rook and bishop really work together well. So maybe this is still winning for me. If he goes here, for example, he still has this outside passer, which is pretty annoying. I guess I can go check. Yeah, actually, he has to go here, because if he went to h8, then I can take here with check, and it's just mate. So he would have to go here. So I guess this is still winning for me. So I guess that's why he didn't go. This idea of knight h4 and knight takes h2. It makes sense in hindsight, but I just wasn't sure in the moment, and it was one thing I was trying to calculate. So I guess that makes sense. Instead, he goes bishop back to c6. I play king d2. I'm just trying to centralize my king. I'm not threatening any forks here. I thought he might try knight d4, trying to fork my king, rook, and pawn. I thought that was an interesting try. Although in this specific case, I have check, and like I can take. And if you go here, I don't know where I would go. Have to be a little bit careful. Maybe I'd go back here, but then there's check, and then here, and if you take, like I don't know if this is. Oh, I guess I still take here, which is nice. It's getting a little bit scary, but I think I should still be fine here. Actually, I lose another pawn, which is annoying. Yeah, that is kind of annoying, actually. Yeah, this is kind of annoying. So I probably don't want this to happen. I don't want all these pawn trades to happen. Then he has a 2-on-0 on the king side, which wouldn't be good for me. Anyways, so I thought he might try knight d4, but he never did. He went h5. I will centralize my king even more. Now he doesn't have knight d4, and now at this point, knight d4 doesn't do that much. And it does attack the pawn, and then a fork here. but I'd probably go check again. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. I'm not sure what my follow-up would be after that, but I think that's all I calculated. I mean, I could even go here, and if check, here. The knight is almost trapped, but not quite. He can go here, but now I go here. Once again, his king is weak, so this should still be winning for me. But it's not so super easy. After king e8, I'm a bishop e6, so he attacks my bishop. He goes back, and he's kind of shuffling. Like, at this point, I'm getting pretty low on time. At this point, I have about 7 minutes, and he has 6 minutes. So we spent a lot of time to get here. And now I got my king to my ideal placement in front of my pawns, and now I'm going to start pushing them. I'm going to win this game by pushing my queenside majority. And queenside majority it goes. Here it goes. I'm pushing my pawns, attacking his knight. He didn't really have a threat per se. I mean, like, knight e4 is a potential threat. I invite him to do it. Like, oh, please do this check. Now I've made space for my king to go here. And now if you take this pawn, I'm actually going to go here. And your life's kind of difficult for you. I guess you could go here and win some more pawns or something like that. But this should not be enough. I also thought about if he went here, I could also go here. Because now he can't go d6, I would just take. And if he takes, now here he really doesn't have any options in this position. He can't move his knight out. He can't move his knight to d3 to attack my pawn on b4. So this would also be pretty good. I got to b4 and bishop c7. He went back to f5, so he's really just shuffling. And now I, finished pushing my pawns. Like, I have a very clear plan of just promoting my queenside pawn. The one sad thing is that, like, no matter which way I push, like if I play b5 and he took, and I'm going to try to promote on c8, or after b5 he takes and I take with the c pawn, trying to promote on a8. Either way, it's on a light square and his bishop can try to defend against it. But either way, it should still be winning here. He played bishop c6, I push b5, and really he should stay on this diagonal. He should, like, take and stay on this diagonal because it covers a8. That's what I think. And he covers b7 as well. But instead, he actually goes back to d7, and I was like, this could not work at all. Now I attack his bishop, and if you go here, I'm just gonna go here, and after this, like, I'm just in, and like there's nothing you can do. And if you go king e8 like it did in the game, well, now after king b6, now you really can't go here because this is just a fork now. And so this happened in the game. He played knight g7, and after I took, he played knight e6, and he just completely lost here. So he's just playing moves. I played rook d5. I think that was a nice final touch here. Being patient here. A5 is probably winning, but it's like, why am I doing this? Oh, this was his idea. I can't push a6 because then he'd do this. That makes a lot of sense, actually. So if I rush, it's bad. He's freezing my pawns. So that's why I just play rook d5. So now, if you do literally nothing, if you play g5 or something like that, now I can play a5 and my pawns are defended. And I also block knight c5 check. So life is very good here. My rook does a lot of really good work here. He plays knight d8, and I just take. I push my pawn. He plays e6. I just take and push my pawn and push my pawn and push my pawn, and he resigns at this moment, which makes sense because there's nothing he can do. But yeah, I'm happy with this game. From the standpoint, I'm glad I didn't let it slip. I'm glad I didn't flag. I'm glad I didn't really screw it up. But overall, because of the opening advantage and of just this move of like taking the pawn on e5, he's so underdeveloped. Like, even though queens are off, it's too dangerous. This queenless middle game is too dangerous. There's no way you can survive. So I got lucky in the opening, beat a 1900, but it is what it is. That's not going to happen every day. So I think that's it. Overall in the tournament, I lost about 11 elo. So I went from 1877 to 1861 actually. So I lost 14 or 16 actually. Bad math. But it is what it is. I'm gonna try to get back to 1900 in 2026. This was my last tournament of 2025. So hopefully I can do better next year and get back to where I want to be. Anyways, see you guys.